There is a way of feeling and looking more beautiful that has nothing to do with changing your physical appearance. Beauty has an undeniable power in the world, and when you understand how this energy works, you'll be able to enhance your physical beauty without actually changing anything on the outside. If you'd like to learn more about cultivating self-confidence and leading a feminine-centric lifestyle, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my free resources, masterclasses below in the description box. I'm Silvana, and I am a course creator and the founder of Venusian Woman, a movement that seeks to reignite feminine wisdom that every woman carries within through the practice of unconditional self-love. In our society, we often think that beauty is skin deep, and the ways to become more beautiful have to do with your physical appearance and how you look. Maybe if you try to change your weight, either gain weight or lose weight, do cosmetic procedures, do your makeup, do all of these different external things, that's how you can become more beautiful. And even though all of this is valid and these are beautiful tools that we have to adorn ourselves and celebrate our femininity, there is a better way that works at the root level and influences how much beauty you radiate. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to enhance your beauty from the inside out. All right, so let's begin with understanding what is beauty. There are many definitions of beauty. Some people think that it might be about symmetry. Some other people might think about the right proportions, the right colors, the right shapes. And by definition, beauty is a combination of qualities such as shape, color, or form that pleases the aesthetic senses, especially the sight. And yes, this is all true, but beauty goes deeper than that. Beauty is about harmony, and harmony is the congruence of the internal and the external qualities of a person. In our society, beauty has been considered this very superficial thing. But whenever we look at the development of our physical appearance and our physical bodies, especially according to Vedic tests, we see that beauty actually goes a lot deeper than that. Physical beauty is developed by the internalized pressure the soul experiences incarnation after incarnation. Venusian beauty, which is what we consider to be the form, shape, and harmony of all of these elements, is actually externally soft but internally hard. What do I mean by that? Whatever we see on the outside in the theme of Venusian beauty is the harmony and the softness, and that's what we consider beautiful, right? But in order for a physical body to attain those qualities lifetime after lifetime, there has to be this internal process that is created by a lot of pressure. Venusian beauty, therefore, is externally soft but internally hard. So the way in which we can develop beauty is by, first of all, learning to experience all of our feelings very intensely without trying to run away from them. This also includes observing yourself as you are without resistance, becoming very aware of our own self-deception about our feelings, our emotions, our characteristics, how we show up in the world, how we are. So whenever we have different parts of ourselves that are arising, different emotions, different identities, or ways of being, whenever we say like, no, I'm not that, but that's what's being projected, we are in separation. And this separation is not in internal harmony. And when there is no internal harmony, then there's no external harmony. So the moment that we begin observing ourselves as we are without trying to lie to ourselves about the truth of our qualities and defects, about how we really feel about things, about the parts of ourselves that might be a little bit harsher, instead of lying about that, we actually learn to observe those parts, and we learn to really understand and dive deeper into why that's there. This curiosity allows us to not judge ourselves, but explore our depths without creating even further separation. And this is the key of the individuation process. This is the key of self-realization, is to really explore the human being without creating like further separation and rejection within ourselves. So from this perspective, beauty becomes the combination of acknowledged qualities that simply require your presence and your awareness. Whenever you spend enough time observing yourself and harmonizing your inner world by simply being present with all of the parts of yourself, you are in fact creating that internal harmony. And that is what begins creating the external beauty. This process is done lifetime after lifetime for eons, and eventually we get given our bodies in the way that we are. So in Vedic astrology, I've been learning that the way that we are, which is our ascendant in the Vedic chart, is determined by our previous karmas. And beauty is one of those things that actually comes based on our previous karmas. So what are the karmas that are being created to create physical beauty? And these karmas is actually the inner harmonization of the self, to be able to observe what it is, observe the unique expression of each lifetime that we have without creating further rejection and without trying to demonize ourselves or delude ourselves by lying about the way that we are or the way that we show up. I'm sure you've heard the saying, as above, so below. So from the same light, whatever is going on internally can be seen externally. So this is like a very big picture understanding of beauty, because I'm talking about like different incarnations and lifetime after lifetime and the creation of physical beauty. But this is a practice that we can actually learn to cultivate in our everyday life. And the more harmony that we're experiencing inside, it becomes an energy that begins flourishing out. And that is what we and other people perceive as physical beauty, because there is a harmony. You don't necessarily have to be completely symmetrical and have the golden ratio. Like most of us don't. Most of us have our little things here and there. But whenever we see somebody that maybe has the physical imperfections outside of whatever standards of beauty are present in the modern times, there are certain people that just have this prettiness, this beauty. And it's something that the more that you get to know them, it's like it begins pulling you in because it's so attractive. And this is the type of beauty I'm talking about. There's many types of beauty, and there's people who have maybe the absolute perfect ratios mathematically, but whenever you don't have that internal harmonization, it doesn't feel the same way. It doesn't look beautiful. Maybe it looks perfect, snatched. Maybe it looks refined and sophisticated and sharp, but beauty is an expression of grace. Beauty is a vibration of love. So what is the thing that is being loved in the expression of beauty? It's ourselves. You see, the moment that we begin observing the parts of ourselves that we don't like, the parts of ourselves that we want to push away from and run away from, when we take some time to bring that separated part right here, and I sit with it and I observe it and I feel it, and I maintain my awareness on love, which is observing something without judgment, then I'm able to harmonize that part of myself. It's almost as if that part that was rejected, through my awareness, through the light that I'm giving it, it morphs into love, into truth, and it's no longer a distorted or an ugly part of the self that is creating this harmony. Whenever our awareness goes into these parts, harmony immediately happens. Because in the creation of the universe, everything that was created with the purpose of returning back to source, back to its creator. And that creator is that presence, that consciousness that we have. So whenever we put our conscious awareness into different parts of ourselves and into our emotional nature and into all these different facets of being a human being, we create inner harmony. So it's something that will start showing up in your life, like in your everyday life, and the way that you see yourself and in the way that other people see you and perceive you as well. Not only that, this is something that as your soul continues evolving and playing the game of Maya, and having more lifetimes, you get to actually enhance more and create more beauty and more harmony. So from this perspective, beauty is profoundly deep. The key component about beauty as well is that whenever you see your beauty, other people will see it as well. Whenever I don't see my beauty, no one else will see it either. So it's the world becomes a direct mirror for the relationship that we have with all of those different parts of ourselves. You can be perceived as the most beautiful person in the world, and if you do not have this internal harmony, and if you're not able to see it, guess what? You're going to create a world for yourself where you attract people that won't really see your true beauty. The beauty that goes beyond the body. The beauty that we're talking about is the beauty of the harmonization of the soul, of bringing all these separate parts back into union through the practice of unconditional self-love. And that is the true cultivation of beauty. nothing is being physically changed here. But at the same time, the perception of the physical reality is changing in this process. And we all know that beauty is subjective and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So everybody is beautiful. And you might be like, no, there are some people that are clearly not beautiful. But if they took the time to harmonize their interior selves, that inner beauty that exists within all of us will actually be visible. This isn't necessarily falling into the category of what beauty is right now, because the beauty, what beauty was considered 50 years ago was very different than what beauty was considered 300 years ago, and very different to what we consider today as a collective society. However, all of creation is beautiful. Whenever you observe it and you stay with it long enough, and you stay with it with loving awareness, by loving it, which is to observe something without judging it, you are harmonizing it. Therefore, you are giving that object the quality of beauty. So this is a much deeper conversation, but I think that I'm going to leave it there because this gives us enough to really chew on and really connect to how can I explore myself deeper to create that internal beauty that is going to be radiated outside. I would love to hear from you in the comments below, so let me know how this video landed for you, if it resonated, and what is your own interpretation of beauty. And if for some reason you think I'm like completely crazy and this doesn't resonate at all, I want to invite you to do an experiment and really begin a daily practice of sitting with the parts of yourself that you consider ugly, whether it's physically, emotionally, or personality wise. And the longer that you stay with those parts and you love them, which means that you observe them without judgment, the more harmony they begin creating. Do this for 21 days and notice what begins happening. The best way to do this experiment is to do it with our physical body. And I've actually done this practice with many parts of my body that I had a lot of conflict with, especially after my teenage years and just, early 20s insecurities. Look at that part of your body that you might be labeling or judging as ugly. Observe it. Notice the emotions that arise in it. And instead of trying to change the emotion or trying to be like, it's beautiful, like just be honest with it. Like the key to this exercise is radical self-honesty. What are the real judgments that are coming up? What are the real emotions that are coming up? And can I become the witness of those judgments and these emotions while observing this specific body part? As you do that, you might notice that you have an emotional release, or there's like many different uncomfortable emotions that come up. Allow yourself to release them, allow yourself to witness them, and notice what happens over time the more that you do this exercise. What you'll notice is that your perception of that part of your body becomes different, and sometimes the part even begins changing. Like there is an actual physical change that happens because a lot of the times we store things in our body, like these ugly feelings get stored in the body. And then the part is perceived as ugly. And therefore we are like stuck in this loop of like reinforcing that belief that this part is ugly or it's not beautiful. So whenever we purify that part by observing our body and learning to really sit with it and learning to really observe the energies that are behind the perceived judgment of the mind, then you'll be able to create inner harmony. So make sure that you do the exercise if you're feeling super skeptical about this video. Otherwise, let me know in the comments below and I'll see you guys next time.